set. March.
Detail. Halt. Up out. Base. Hurry. Rest.
We're gathered together again to remember the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. This is a threshold year. This is the first time that we've actually had members of the Topeka West student body who were not even born when the attacks occurred. All of you, however, were too young at the time to clearly remember it. In fact, a few of you weren't born yet. That being the case, 9/11 is rapidly being regarded as ancient history and no big deal. It's important that we remember those attacks and the lessons learned from them. If you're too young to remember them, I encourage you to ask your teachers or other adults in your life about it today and get them to share their thoughts and experiences with you. By this time in your lives, you've heard most of the facts and figures about it. 3,047 killed, approximately 400 firefighters in the fire department in New York, and other first responders lost. Thousands of military personnel in operations supporting our global war on terror. The list just goes on and on. It's easy to disregard these figures as being nameless, faceless statistics, but these were lives that were ended, and many other lives were shattered that day besides those who were killed. The impact those attacks had on peace and freedom worldwide cannot and should not be understated. More than any other event in history, 9/11 shaped the world that you must now grow up in. It's important to note that this was an attack on peace and freedom-loving people from all walks of life. The victims in those towers were of dozens of nationalities, many different religious faiths, ages, races, and economic backgrounds. Rudy Giuliani, who was the mayor of New York City at the time, I think summed it up best in an interview shortly after the attacks when he said, "This was an attack intended to destroy us because we are a country built on the principles of freedom. And because of free will, people get a chance to distinguish themselves. This wonderful American civilization emerges, which isn't based on any one ethnic group. It isn't based on any one race. It isn't built on any one religion. It's based on people believing in freedom." The attacks truly were attacks on all of us, not just some of us. But damaging as they were, those attacks unified Americans and we came back stronger than ever. I'm not an artistic or creative man, but I've read about it, and there's an ancient Japanese art form called kintsukuroi, which involves repairing broken pottery using lacquer and powdered precious metals like gold and silver. It's interesting in that the philosophy behind this technique is that the broken piece, once repaired, is more beautiful for having been damaged and repaired. But the damage becomes a part of the history of the object rather than something to disguise or hide. That pretty much sums up how I see America. I love this country, and the breaks and the scars that 9/11 put on it only serve to make it more beautiful to me. So I hope that today you'll all go about your business and reflect on the attacks of 9/11 and also on the freedoms that you enjoy and that so many Americans take for granted these days. Could I have Lieutenant Colonel Clark bring your unit to attention and present arms?
Company Commander, bring your company to attention and present arms.
Company,
attention.
Company, attention.
Teacher, attention.
Arms.
Present.
Present.
Arm.